welcome back, watch fans. We are here to deliver alpha for you in watches, rare watches, Patek Philippe, AP, and art. That's right. The same stuff. It's all the same stuff. Now, I just wanted to do an addendum. That's right. A very important addendum. I made a huge and bigly mistake yesterday. I completely forgot to show you the data. I completely forgot to show you some data which I had overlooked. It was a while since I looked at this. I mentioned to you my thesis for why Andy Warhol drawings are deeply undervalued and could increase literally 10x. For example, we have this here. Yeah, I showed you the thing. This is a gem. It's called Andy Warhol Gem, graphite on paper in 1978. It's from the estate of Andy Warhol. And it's a drawing. It's a preparatory drawing of an emerald, okay? And this was for a series of prints. Now, we were offering this for, hang on one second. Uno momento. Hang on a second. I gotta take a very important phone call, so hang on a second. Let me just put this on hold here. Okay, look at this. Unbelievable but true. Back here, I got tomato cans calling me. Before I was rudely interrupted by somebody who will be left unnamed, I was telling you why these things should be selling for. We had this available for 40 to 60,000. Okay, meaning basically you can get it for 50,000. 50,000 would get you the price, the deal. But the upside is at least, I think, 500,000 if you're willing to wait a few years. Now, you're saying, this is impossible. It's impossible. No, I told you the comps are very similar to Picasso. If a Picasso drawing can sell for $1 million, and so should Warhol. And again, because Picasso and Warhol, their paintings sell for roughly the same price. If you compare apples to apples, meaning, prime periods, all that stuff. Now, let me show you something unbelievable. Unbelievable true. Let's go to the data. Is Mr. Miyagi watching? Is Mr. Miyagi, where are you? We're talking about data. Here we have a direct comp. I mean, I could go through this list for a million years, but here we got some direct comps. These are preparatory drawings for prints, for a series of prints. This is the famous Skull series. Now, look at this. Exactly the same. This is exactly the same as we were selling. Also, a state of Andy Warhol. It's the same exact size, 20 and 5/8 by 28 and 1/8. It's the Skull. Hammer price. When I say hammer time, we're talking about by hammer time, right? Hammer time, 210,000. What was the estimate? 30 to 50,000. The same thing that we had. By the way, same period. This is done 1976, probably, and our thing was done 1978. Basically, that's basically that same late 70s period when he was doing like Mick Jagger drawings and all that. By the way, not his best period, although I think it'll be reappraised in the future, by the millennials. Look at this, 210,000. Okay, what's the size? Okay, so you see the price, right? 20 and 5/8 by 28 and 1/8, right? It's graphite on paper. Now look at ours. Look at ours. Same size, 20 and a half by 20. Actually, I was probably wrong. It's actually 20 and 5/8. So I don't know who's correct or whatever, but basically, I don't know where they measured it because it's basically, you see, there's actually two pieces of paper. I can't do zoom in. Oh shit, the computer is frozen. The computer is frozen. You see that there's actually two pieces of paper attached to each other, and you're only getting charged for one. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Would you believe it? Would you believe it? So not only do we give you unbelievable opportunities in watches, we give it to you in art. Now, by the way, I'm pulling this off the market. This is no longer available because I think we're just going to hold on to this. We're going to put this in the vault. This is going into the vault. You know why? Because, you know, it is just too good for the tomato cans. This is much too good for tomato cans. This is going back in the vault. You know, probably going to sell it in a couple of years. How much? For how much? Minimum 250. Again, same basic, you know, subject. You're going to say, oh, subject matter. Oh, it's a skull versus a gem. That's a bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. Okay, anyway, look, we got also the Mao Zedong. Also another preparatory drawing by Warhol. Preparatory drawing. Oh, this was owned by Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton, you know, the famous author. Gagosian Gallery. Oh, this was an exhibit at Gagosian, 2003. Okay, not a big deal. Anyway, 40 by 30. It's a little bit bigger than ours. Mao Zedong, 220,000. A little bit earlier, again, same 1970s period. But here's what's crazy. You want to hear something crazy? Again, you can see some of these drawings are getting big money. And this actually, I think, is a very good subject matter. A wad of dollar bills. Now, this is actually important. This is 1962. This is a drawing for print. This is actually valuable. This is I think this was a bargain, 200 grand for this. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Look at this. This is 1997. Wow. That's crazy. That was a crazy price, actually, for 1997. That was like, you know, Warhol was pretty dead at that time. He wasn't, you know, 90 to 120. It sold for 233. Wow. Today, that's $1 million. Easily $1 million. Again, you got Warhol drawings of Mao, 200 Gs, 200. Another one, 180,000. Now, let's take a look at something better. What's the top price? Remember when I told you $1 million for Picasso versus Warhol? That Warhol should be $1 million? Well, guess what? Guess what, tomato cans? Oh, man, I'm very sloppy. I am so sloppy. I completely overlooked this. Okay, so that wad of dollar bills I showed you for 200 grand, it sold in 1997 for 200,000. Same wad of dollar bills, resold 3,700,000, 2009. Wow, that's crazy. By the way, that was 200,000. That was a very expensive price for a Warhol drawing. That was like the record. That was a record price in 1997. Record price. And here we are, 10 years later, basically 12 years later. You would have made more than 10 times your money. Now, I think today, I don't even know. Hold on a second. This is a schmata. You know what a schmata is? This is a watercolor on paper. It's a paper. It's a work on paper. It's not even a painting. You do have, to be fair, you do have a little bit of color. You got the green, which is actually a very nice touch. By the way, look at this. He does the thing here. You see he does that little like shadow. You see that little thing at the end, the shadow thing? He does the same thing with our piece, with the gems. Anyway, look, you would have made 10 times your money in 10 years. How much is it worth today? I think it's worth probably, I don't even know, 6-7 million maybe. Because 2009 was like the Great Depression. 2009 was a very bad year. I don't know if you guys remember, that was the great financial crisis. That was a very bad year. So that's amazing. Okay, here we go. Another one. We get another Warhol drawing, preparatory drawing, graphite on paper, tomato can. We got literally a tomato can and Coca-Cola, 2.5 million. Again, this is a little bit more early. This is 1962, so it's historically more important because it's, you know, it's the whatever. By the way, speaking of tomato cans, you know, we got crayon eaters and tomato cans. So here we go. We got $1 million change. We got $1 million, 1,350,000. Graphite on paper. Again, same thing that we have. Preparatory drawing, $1.3 million. Okay, so 23 by 18 inches. Same exact size as we have, 23 by 18. I mean, actually, no, ours is bigger. Ours is bigger. So you know what? We're pulling it off the market. That's right. It's off the market. You know what? Because the tomato cans. Listen, why should we give it away when the tomato cans can't appreciate it? New price. New price. Okay, new price. 200,000. That's the price. Take it or leave it, bitches. 200,000 is the price for gems. I'm so glad I actually saw this. I mean, by the way, this is not like some sort of like fake video. I'm actually completely being very transparent. I really overlooked this. Oh, we got Baron van Noob all the way from Amsterdam. That's right, Amsterdam. Amsterdam. He bought gold in 2009. That's right. Everybody thought the world was going to end. I think in 2000, if I remember, gold was, how much was gold in 2009? I think it was less than 800. I think it was like in the 700s, if I remember. I think people thought it was crazy that it was going to go to 800. I think it was under 800. But yeah, unbelievable but true. So what do we got here? We're talking about making big money. We're talking about generating alpha with art. So again, I showed you this. There we go. It was 900 an ounce. Yeah, there we go. And today, 4,000, possibly going to 8,000. By the way, guys, breaking news. I got breaking news for you. We got a new catalyst for the art market and for Patek Philippe. Are you ready? We got a major new catalyst. You're getting here first. You're getting a new investment thesis. We only have 3 people watching, including Baron von Noob. This is unbelievable but true. So you're going to have an exclusive. The Italians. Have you heard of Italy? It's a country in Europe. Have you heard of Europe? You Google it, okay? The Italians. Speaking of bad markets, now the Italians were major art buyers forever. I mean, well, at least since the 1950s. The Italians were major art buyers up until like 2006, 7. The GFC. Up until the whole crisis, they were big buyers, and then they had all sorts of problems. The market went into turmoil. And also they had the big VAT. You guys are from, the Baron von Noob knows about the VAT, import duties. Now I got breaking news for you. Hang on a second. What is the import Italy art import duty? Let's Google this because I think they just lowered it to 5%. There we go, bitches. 5%. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Okay, so yeah, this just happened recently. So got 2 things happening. You got Giorgina Meloni. Is that her name? Giorgina Meloni? What's her name? Let's Google it. Is it Georgina? Hang on a second. Let's Google it. Italy Prime Minister. What is her name? Giorgia. Bellissima. Più bella del mondo. Wow. Giorgia Meloni, okay, famous for doing the eye roll. So the Italian economy is booming now because she's stealing the leads from London. That's right, she's stealing the leads, just like JJ Bukiak stole the leads from Archie Luxury and Artem Pizdets stole the leads from Archie Luxury. Italy now is stealing all the billionaires away from London. Basically, London is jacking up taxes on the so-called non-domiciled. Italy is saying, hey, look, come live here. You give us a flat fee. You grease our palms. You give us a flat fee, and you could be a citizen here. And they're stealing all the money. That's right. They're stealing all the money from the UK. Only VAT. I don't know what that means, only VAT. Import duties. By the way, speaking of El Trump, we were doing a video live stream with Duke Omar the other day. We're talking about Venezuela, and this just goes to show you how powerful this channel is. Literally within 12 hours of our live stream, talking about how, look, I just made the suggestion that it would be a good idea to invade Venezuela, because so we can free up the market for vintage Pateks. And what happened? El Trump sent in Delta Force to extract, as they say, like a cavity, a bad tooth, extracting. It's like extracting a gerbil from Juan and Kino's anus. Juan and Kino, those guys in Miami, the hubcap thieves, they have gerbils and hamsters they stick in their anus, and sometimes they get stuck in there. They gotta get them extracted. The same thing here. They had to extract Maduro. But you heard it here first. Anyway, look, bottom line is the Italian economy is going gangbusters. Okay, the economy is on fire. She just lowered the VAT. The Italians are going to be buying art and watches. You Google it. Okay, the Italians love to buy art and watches. They're the most sophisticated collectors. So what's going to move up? Old master paintings. That's right. Old master paintings are going all the way up. We're actually going to jack up the prices on some of the stuff we had listed. So, for example, okay, that was sold. Oh, we got a Dutchman. Flemish. Close enough. Flemish. Otto van Veen. Have you heard of Otto van Veen? You know who Otto van Veen is? You Google Otto van Veen, okay? You Google Otto van Veen. Important Flemish. Have you heard of Flemland? Flemish Renaissance, probably circa 1600. Oil on copper. Now, where did this come from? Who did this come from? You Google this name. Richard Feigen. Richard Feigen, that's right. He attributed it to Otto van Veen. Richard Feigen, major dealer. He passed away a few years ago. Heavy hitter. That's the copper. You can melt this. By the way, you can melt this for the copper. Unbelievable, but true. Now, would the Italians buy this? No, the problem with the Italians, they're very provincial. They only buy from their neighborhood, meaning like the Neapolitans only buy Neapolitan artists. The Genovese only buy, you get it, right? The Milanese only buy like Lombardia. Okay, so they're not buying the Milanese are not going to buy Florentine artists. Why? Because they're very racist. The Italians are very racist. So would the Italians buy this painting, Andrea del Sarto? Possibly. Well, I mean, which ones? I mean, would the Milanese buy Andrea del Sarto? Andrea del Sarto is kind of a neutral. He's a little bit neutral because he's in the Uffizi. It's kind of neutral. He's kind of a big enough name. It's kind of like Leonardo da Vinci. Have you heard of Leonardo da Vinci? You Google Leonardo da Vinci. That's right. Ecco qua. Something is going. No, they actually. No, this has been going on for like 500 years. They were all fighting with each other because it was never really a country. It was always different states. The Florentines fighting the people from, I don't know, Pisa or whatever. The Venetians fighting the Romans. The Romans fighting. They're all fighting each other. And forget about the Sicilianos, the Sicilians. Those are like, the Sicilians are basically considered Moulignans. You know what a Moulignan is? You Google Moulignan. I can't say on YouTube because they're gonna censor me. But the Sicilians are not really considered even the Italians. It's a whole thing going on. Uncle Curly, by the way, Curly's from Sicilia. And I went there one time. They have a beautiful museum. They have a great museum, unbelievable art museum. A very weird place. They try to rip me off on the airline. They try to, made me pay for a carry-on. Made me pay for what it called what do you call it? Checked luggage when I could have carried it on. It was like basically it was a carry-on piece. But this guy, because the grifters, the bunch of anti-American grifters, it was a discount flight. It was one of these cheap ass flights that's like $20. But what do? They try to rip you off. It's $20 for the plane, but to get on the plane, they charge you extra. The flight is $20, but if you want to get on board the plane, you have to pay a boarding fee. Anyway, this Bukiak, this Siciliano Moulignan, he made me check in this carry. It was a straight up carry-on piece of luggage. Okay, and he said, "Oh, no, it's too big. It's way, they can do a whole scam, whatever." I forget what the airline was. It was one of those discount bullshit airlines. Okay, bullshit Fugazi Airlines. Oh no. Well, you know what they say. The North is where that's people actually do the work. The North, they actually work, and in the South they just have babies. So it's kind of like Puerto Rico. Like where Juan and Kino's from. Puerto Rico, basically, they're all on welfare. No, okay. Actually, listen. The Puerto Ricans are basically that's like a third world shithole country. It's not. It's like La Isla de Cucaracha. To be fair, though, they actually do work in the south of it. It's just not industrialized. They're not industrialized, so they don't have the whole the Milanese. Yeah, listen, it's kind of like it's like America. It's basically like America. The people in the north look down on the people in the south, right? Like the people in New York and Boston, they look down on like Georgia, like Atlanta or like North Carolina, Texas, all those Bukiakistani states. Because generally, those were like, they were very backwards. It's funny. It's that way all over the world. I don't know why that is, but if, for whatever reason, people in the North are more like intelligent and industrious than people in the South. Even in Europe, right? If you look at the Scandinavians, they're much more the Northern Europeans, much more industrial. Like the Scandinavians are much more industrious and intelligent than the Spaniards, 100%. Even than the French. I mean, France. I mean, you go to Paris. Well, Paris is kind of borderline, right? But especially if you go to like Marseille, you go to south of France. South of France also, they're basically retarded. The people in the south of France are basically, it's kind of like Miami. Miami's a bunch of retards. That's where like, lazy people love warm weather. It's just the way it is. Lazy people like Juan and Kino, these hubcap thieves. It was too cold in New York. It was too hard to steal hubcaps and do chain snatching in New York, so they had to go to Miami. Anyway, by the way, this painting is going all the way up. We're jacking up the price. This is a bargain price. This is a giant painting. This is gonna be $100 grand in 2 years. I'm telling you right now. We're gonna be. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. We're gonna reprice We're gonna reprice a bunch of things. We're gonna dump some things which are just kind of taking up space. We got this painting over here, which is Italian. It's a homoerotic painting. Look at this. This is Jesus with the baptizing scene. But look at this. Look how many bodies. Look how many naked men are in this painting. Look how many naked men are in this painting. You know who would love to buy this painting? Juan and Kino. Yeah, that guy would definitely love to buy. Danducci. You know who Danducci? Look at this. Look at the gesture. I mean, this is a fucking amazing painting. The water. I mean, this is going to be $100 grand also. Forget about it. Forget about it. We're jacking up the prices. Danducci. All the Italian stuff, we're jacking it all up. Oh, we got one Dutch painting. We got Rembrandt. We get a Rembrandt. I think this is Dutch. It's either Dutch or I think this is either Dutch or whatever. I think it's Dutch. Or one of those Bukiakistani countries. Anyway, this is a cheap painting. We're giving it away. Okay, we are giving this away for how much? $500 Low estimate. So you could buy this for 600. I mean, that's a steal. 9.5 by 7 inches plus the frame. Old man are reading a book. Actually, seriously, that is a bargain. We're gonna have to jack up these prices. This is too cheap. We got this here, Dutch Old Master, Solomon. Oh, yeah, look at this. Baron van Noob. This could be one of your relatives. Baron van Noob, this is one of your relatives over here. Attributed to Solomon Koning. When we say attributed, what that means is we don't have proof. It's, your guess is as good as mine, but it's legitimately, I mean, this is like, this is a legitimate painting. It was relined. Okay, so this is the back, that's restored. That's not original. The back is not original. The front, that's the painting, that is original. And you can see the paint is flaking off here. This is flaking off. Look at this. It looks like it was, look at the paint. Look at the gesture. Look how way the nose. You can see the light bouncing off the nose. That's actually, in order to do that, you have to be a legitimate artist. You can't do this being a tomato can, okay? This is not for tomato cans. To do that type of nose, you have to be pretty good. That's called the gesture. I mean, the frame, that's a good frame also. We got a real good frame here. It's a legitimate frame. This is like 1600s. 1600s. See, it's look at it. You got a label attributed to Solomon Koning. Is it Solomon Koning? I have no idea. Probably not, but whatever. Could be a student, whatever. $1,000. You can take this home. $1,000. Unbelievable, but true. We got bargains here. We got art bargains. We got Flemish. Oh, we got Philips. Oh, we got a lot of Dutch. I forgot. We got actually a bunch of Dutch. Have you heard of Wouverman? Wouverman? Philips Wouverman? Manner of. It's not. We're not saying it's by him. It's manner of, meaning like it could be him. It could be a student, a copyist, a guy working in this style, whatever. Look, does it make a difference to you? I mean, this thing is 300 years old. Look at this beautiful gestures. Little boy. You got the little boy standing there. And you got a pipe. You got a pipe. You know who does the pipes? It's the guy, what's his name? The guy smoking and urinating. Oh, you got, I actually, look at the cards. You see cards? They're playing cards, smoking. I mean, a lot of details, a lot of beautiful details. We're going to jack up the price. 1,500. Forget about it. Forget about it. We're jacking up the prices on this. This is too cheap. We can't give this away. We cannot give this away. How about Philip Peter Roos? Philip Peter Roos. Attributed to. Look at this. Unbelievable. This is this is probably owned by Baron van Noob's great grandfather. For sure. This is probably a family heirloom from Baron van Noob because he's Dutch. These paintings are Dutch. Fill in the blanks. We got another Dutch Old Master here. Look at this. Wow. Unbelievable. We're actually selling this as non-attributed. Wow, look at the horses. Military encampment. Beautiful. That frame is worth probably 10 grand. 5 to 8,000. Forget about it. We're going to jack up the prices. Too cheap. Forget about it. Forget about it. We got to change these prices. Okay, we got 10 years. 10 years. You know who 10 years is? Look at this. On panel. This is on panel. Baron van Noob's grandfather made this painting. Look at this. You got a red wax. You got a wax seal with some note. It's a collection. It's a nice little painting. I mean, I'm not saying, whatever, but how much is it? How much is this? $2,000? Come on. Wouverman. Yeah, of course it's Wouverman. Yeah, of course. It's all available. It's all available for purchase. Available for purchase, not for sale, for purchase. You understand what purchase means? Purchase, not sale. Wouverman. Yeah, Wouverman. Oh, yeah, this guy knows. These Dutch people are very cultured. Yeah, Wouverman, he did the horses. And the Wouverman is known for painting the horses. The ass of the horse always has like a little bit of a reflection. The light bouncing off the fur. It gives you that reflection. It's unbelievable. I just got a text. Oh, shit. I just got a text. I just got a text from Duke Omar. I got a text from Duke Omar. You're not going to believe this. I'm going to share with you a confidential text. Now, Duke Omar is very tied in with the Trump administration. He got a text from Richard Mill, and this guy says, I have exciting news for you. The wait is finally over. I want to welcome you to the RM family. Uh-oh. Is the Duke going to get a Richard Mill? Unbelievable. It looks like the Duke. Okay, now hang on a second. Okay, so just so you know, we're gonna be posting up the new auction. But if you want to see what we had available, this is it. And we're going to be offering these things again. Why? Because, it doesn't always sell the first time around, especially when you have a high-class channel. I'm going to send you the link. Here comes the link. The link is this. This is the link. This is the link. Now, we're going to be posting a new link. But, yeah, this is the stuff. All this stuff is going to be available again in about 2 weeks for bidding. But the prices are going to be higher. Why? Because we have what do you call it? We got to adjust mark to market. Baron Bohm knows what mark to market means. Baron Bohm, if you can explain to the peasants what does mark to market mean, we have to adjust to the market. It's nothing. If the market was lower, we would lower the prices. Unfortunately, the market went all the way up. And as a result, we have to raise the prices. Oh, we got the Duke. The Duke himself is here. The Duke Omar. Duke, are you going to go for this Richard Mill? I mean, are we going to be privileged to see a sassy unboxing? Are we going to get a sassy Richard Mill unboxing? We have not had on this channel, we've actually never had a sassy unboxing. No, I'm sorry. We actually did. We had Baron Red. Baron Red did a sassy unboxing of a Breguet Marine. Yeah, exactly. It's unbelievable. Yeah, but let me tell you something. These Dutch paintings that we have there, the old master, the whatever, the attributed bullshit. No, those are like legitimately good deals. I mean, it's like, and I got to tell you something. It's going all the way up. Okay, like. Baron Bohm himself knows, and the Duke Omar also knows, because these are men of economic, they follow the economy. They're very tied in. They have their finger on the pulse of global economic trends and geopolitics and the macro picture. And we know that Giorgia Meloni, più bella donna del mondo, is making Italy great again. That's right. Giorgia Meloni making Italy great again. What do you think the Italians do when they've got some money in their pocket? First thing they do, they love yellow gold. They love coral. They love vintage watches. They're not going to buy new. No. Solo antica, solo antichi. Orologio da antichi, dipinti antichi con orologio antichi. What kind of antichi? Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Royal Oak. They're gonna start buying bigly and huge. Also Ellipse. And you know what else they buy? Okay, so the first thing they do is they buy watches, and then the guys who have money, they always buy art. The art is, buying art is for people with real money. That's the reality. It's like, as this Iranian guy in Beverly Hills told me, That's the guy who told you, he said, there's two things you never sell. You never sell Beverly Hills real estate, and you never sell Patek Philippe. And this gentleman whose family was, multi-generational real estate owners in LA, Beverly Hills, he told me, but, we were talking about Iranians because, I got to I'm doing my due diligence on the Iranians. I got to know about these Iranians, right? So he tells me, I'm telling him, I got the Manusher Yektai, and he's telling me, listen, here's the thing you got to understand about the Iranians here in LA. When things get when times are tough, if things get hard, the first thing they do is they sell their art. The second thing they do is then they sell their watch. What's the last thing they sell? The Mercedes. Because that's embarrassing. If you can't get around in LA in a Mercedes, listen, you basically listen. If you don't have at least the Mercedes, listen, if you're an Iranian and if you don't have at least the Mercedes S-Class, you might as well be Mexican. You might as well be hanging out at the Home Depot parking lot. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. We are here to deliver alpha. We don't know. Is the Duke going to pull the trigger? Is the Duke going to be welcomed in? Is the Duke going to be welcomed into the family? Look at the way they set this up. These Richard Mille marketing people are so smart. Here's the thing. He was invited to a sassy dinner. Okay, I'm going to make a guess. I'm going to take a guess. I have no idea if this is how. I'm guessing. Look, they're selling a watch for big money, $100,000, right? They're selling a watch for $100,000. So how do you you got to get these guys ready. You can't just hit them over the head. You got to do a build up. You got to warm them up, right? So you invite them to a sassy dinner because the inventory is going to arrive. Richard Mille calls up the store. He says, "Hey, listen, I got a shipment coming in. I got to move 20 watches so we can pay the water bill this month, right?" So the guy at the boutique sets up a dinner. He invites everybody over. Now the dinner is going to cost them, I guess it's got to cost $3,000. If you have 20 guys, it's got to be at least $150 each, at least at that place. So he drops let's call it $5,000. He drops $5,000. He invites 20 guys over, and now a week later he sends them all a text saying, "Hey, the watch you wanted has finally arrived." How many are going to pull the trigger? Probably 6 or 7. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the problem. The problem is if you don't buy when they contact you, they may not contact you again. They may, who knows? This guy has a good personality, so he may get extra credit. But the average tomato can, they probably won't contact them. If it was Patek, for sure not. Who knows? Baron Van Noob. Yes, so the Duke, can he flip the watch? Yeah, apparently he can because look, there's demand. There's demand. Will the Duke become a backpack dealer? That's the question. Will the Duke become a backpack dealer? RM yesterday's story. Give it a year, prices will drop bigly. This is Baron Bohm, one of our macro economists. Options trader extraordinaire. It could be. It could very well be. Again, with RM, it's its own universe. The Richard Mille market is it has its own rules, which are I don't know. Okay, we're gonna jack up these prices again. We gotta adjust these prices. We gotta mark to market for Giorgio Meloni. So we got a Correggio. You know what Correggio is? Correggio. That's a manner of. It's not buy. We're not saying it's buy. It's manner of. It's like a guy copied Correggio, but it's done in the period. It's done. This is probably. This is backing. Okay, this is a backing. It's probably like 1600, 1700s, 17. This could be what's his name? It could be El Greco. El Greco. Listen, here's what you got to realize. A lot of times, these big artists, a lot of times they start off when they're students, they start off making copies of paintings. It could be El Greco because you see the hands. The hands have that El Greco vibe. They got the El Greco vibe. Is it El Greco? I don't know. If it was El Greco, it would be worth 200 grand as an El Greco. Now, we sold this, and we got the frame left. We sold this. This is a Dutch Bartholomeus van der Helst. This is Baron von Noob's grandfather. This is Baron von Noob's grandfather, great-great-grandfather. Bartholomeus van der Helst, 1613 to 1670. Attributed to. We got Joseph Cornell. We got surrealist paintings. We got surrealist paintings here. We got nude girls. We got live nude girls here. We got live nude girls. This is cheap. $1,000. Harold Sterner. He's in the Boston Museum of Arts. He's at the Art Institute. He's at the Whitney. This is a legitimate artist. He's got, it's a real legitimate artist. We only give you the best here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, he is a classy guy. He's not a backpack flipper. He's not a flipper. Let's see. All right, gentlemen. We got the real bargains. Let me tell you what the real bargains are. We got some real bargains here. Check this out. Check it out. Louis Fabian. We got this giant painting. It's an impressionist style painting. Oil on canvas. You got a gilt frame. Let me tell you something. You could scrap that frame. If you scrap that frame, it's probably got $1,000 in gold. I mean, it's a gilt frame. Legitimately, it's probably got $1,000 in gold if you scrapped it. If you scraped off that gold, you get $1,000. Anyway, it's a giant painting. Look at this. It's actually next to some chairs. So it just gives it's a huge painting, and you can steal this thing for like $1,000. Whoa, shit! This price is too cheap. We're gonna jack up the price. These things go usually for big money in retail, like 10 grand. 46 by 58. 40. That's the canvas. No, excuse me. That's framed. 46 by 58. We're going to be raising these prices. It's too cheap. Francesco Albani. This is Joseph fleeing from what's her name? What is it called? Potiphar's wife. That's right. Unbelievable. A biblical story. It's a biblical story. You Google it. You know who loves biblical stories? Juan and Kino. Now, this doesn't happen in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is like La Isla del Incesto. La Isla del Incesta. In Puerto Rico, they love incest. You Google it. I'm not even making that up. Have you heard of the band what are they called? Los Lobos? Los Lobos was a famous band in the 60s. Juan and Kino were a band called Los Incestos. Los Incestos. You Google Los Incestos. We got Los Incestos. We got, what do we got? We got, for Illuminati, if you're a member of the Illuminati, this is Eugene Savage. This was a painting for the Elks Lodge. You know, the Elks Lodge in Chicago. This is on the ceiling. This is a study for that paint, Yeah, we got to get rid of some of this American stuff. The American stuff, I'm not bullish on American art. I'm really not bullish on the American art. We got stained glass. We got stained glass. German Renaissance. Um, this is unbelievable. By the way, I actually sold one of these to a major gallery in London. I had like 6 different pieces. They're all from the same collection, and one of them sold to a major gallery. Which gallery? It's a big one. It's in the Mayfair. These guys are heavy hitters. Heavy hitters. This is like they specialize in that, like medieval Renaissance type stuff. It's people know, the people who know, they know. Okay, Martinius Zimmermann. You know who Martinius Zimmermann is? You Google it. This is glass. This is stained glass. I don't think I should sell this. Maybe we may have to hold on to this. And look at this. That's Las Vegas in the background. You Google it. We're jacking prices all the way up. Oh, by the way, speaking of La Isla de Cucaracha, this is from Cuba. Esteban Chartrand. So this is a an important French artist. 19th century Cuba. On panel, and look at this beautiful little painting. This is Cuba, 19th century, not Puerto Rico. Why? Because Puerto Rico is if this was Puerto Rico, you'd see a bunch of cucarachas and los incestos running around. You don't see that here. This should be like a $10,000 painting. We're giving it away, 2,500. Mahogany frame. This is from Cuba. Some guy probably smuggled into this country. Look, we got a lot of Dutch. Look at this. We got from Baron van Noob. We got a lot of Dutch masters. We got the Dutch masters here. This is attributed or manner of Gottfried van Schalken. Have you heard of Gottfried van Schalken? Girl holding a candle. It looks like a copy of a bunch. It's not, if it was the real guy, it would be like 10 times the price. $1,000, circa 1,700. It needs a little bit of repair. But in the Netherlands, something like this would probably go for 2,000 at retail, 3,000 at retail. I have no idea. I haven't sold to the Netherlands in a while. I don't know if they buy stuff anymore. We got Franz Franken. Have you heard of Franz Franken? We got Adoration of the Magi. This is a really nice painting, actually. Look at this. Look at the detail. Look at that hat. That's how you know this is done by a master. When you have that type of level of detail by the hat, look at the gesture. Yeah, this is done this is a legitimate painting. Look at the eyes. I mean, look at the paint. I mean, this could be by Rubens. It's got vaguely Rubenesque lines. It's got Ruben. I think this is done by an Italian. This could be a very valuable painting. We're going to jack up the price all the way up. All the way up. Yeah, we get a lot of Dutch. Well, actually, man, we get a lot of Flemish and Dutch. You could steal this for $750. Vandermeulen. This is bad condition. We gotta get rid of this. 1600s. We got steal this painting. Steal this painting. $500. Somebody please take this. We gotta jack up the price. It's a still life, 1800. Comes in a bad frame. It's a bad, cheap frame. Good paint, nice painting. I mean, you're not going to get rich with this, but it's actually a nice painting. Look at the level of detail. It's legitimately a nice painting. We're going to jack up these prices. Seriously, this is too cheap. All right, gentlemen, that's it. Yeah, no, I've sold stuff. Most of my customers, usually most of my customers are actually galleries, dealers. Yeah, I've sold a lot of stuff to. I don't think I've done that much with. I haven't sold that much to the net. I've sold stuff to Germany, France, Italy. I don't think I've ever done the UK for sure. Uh, but not so much the Netherlands. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, Venezuela. Yeah, we actually did have a Venezuela. We actually sold. There was a guy. What's his name? There was an important op art guy. See, Baron von Noob knows. Vanderhelst was huge back in the day. There you go. Huge. I did. I By the way, I look at this. I didn't know this. I had no idea. I had no idea. Unbelievable, true. But yeah, a lot of times these guys are big and then they fall out. That's what happens. He's like falling off the radar. Nobody cares about him anymore. We actually sold that painting for like, I think $1,000 without the frame. So, all right, gentlemen, that's it. We are wrapping up. We're wrapping up. Uh, that's it. We've given you all the information that you need. Thank you to all our members, the aristocrats. Today we had, you realize today on this type of show, only the aristocrats show up. We didn't have any tomato cans. Today's chat was aristocrats only. We got the barons. We got Baron von Noob. We got Baron Baum. We got the Duke Omar. No riffraff. This is a riffraff-free show. The only riffraff was this guy, Tukois. Tukois is the only riffraff. But Tuko, if for $4.95, you could become an aristocrat. It's not too late. You could be a baron. Just click the join button, and you will be a. Look at this. We've got more barons. Look how many aristocrats. Look at this. This show is only for the aristocrats. There's no chomos here. This is a chomo-free experience. This is a 100% chomo-free. Unbelievable. Gluten-free and chomo-free. All right, gentlemen, we'll see you on the next live stream.